Here, I draw your attention to the reflex. I will lighten it up a bit to highlight it more. I will keep shading. At the bend of the fold, a reflex is also assumed here. Therefore, we also lighten this place in advance. I will shade with my fingers somewhere, but I will say right away that it's easier to shade lighter places with them than darker ones. I remind you that we create semitones in parallel with shadows. We should immediately stretch from darker to lighter places, constantly looking at the photo. This way we will advance faster. Now I am darkening the back of the drapery. I will do this with a 4B pencil. It will give a thinner and lighter line. Here, I also slightly clarify the difference in tone in the upper left part of the work and add light shadows to distant folds. Remember about the compositional center. Do not detail the folds much in the background. The whole background should be like a semi-haze. Now I am moving to the fold in the foreground that touches the table. I will use 7B for shadows and 4B for light. We assume a lot of reflexes on the front fold. Plus, it's lighter and more transparent than all the others. I will work out the falling shadow on the table. This one of the darkest places in the photo. The shadow is shaded in the direction of the table. So now the basic things are ready. The stage of the detailing comes. Now we are completely going into the details of the foreground and into the easy elaboration of the background. Now I suggest you darken the right side of the work a little to leave more light in the center part, where we will have a focus. At the expense of the edges of the picture, you can leave them underdrawn. Do not worry that this will make it seem as if your work is not finished. I will tell you even further. The student is always valuable for the ability to leave air in the work and not to torment the sheet with details. Our task here is to leave a contrasting and bright light only in the place where we want to focus. And focus is possible only in the place where there is the sharpest contrast of shadow and light, as at our center fold. When there is no sharp contrast, as I have now on the left, there is no strong focus, and it's immediately clear that this is a long-range plan. Now I want to focus your attention on drawing smaller folds. Namely, in this part. Therefore, the first thing we will do is indicate the reflex on the first fold to highlight it. To make it easier for you to understand, at the beginning there is a thin shadow of its own and then a reflex. Here it's better to look at the photo to inflame this moment better. Take a good look. After the reflex, there's a falling shadow already on the second fold. Do not confuse it. To begin with, I will use an eraser to highlight this first fold to better understand it. Now I am taking a soft pencil and applying its own shadow again to the left of the reflex. Thanks to this, the fold came to the foreground. We will do the same with the second fold. I draw your attention once again to the fact that this fold is quite soft and plastic. Don't make sharp corners. It's important for us to show that this is a fabric. In the places where the fold originates, which means at the top and at the very bottom, there should be no contrasts. Everything should be just gently dissolved as in a haze. We can also observe this in the photo. And you can also notice that the second fold in this case dissolves more and contrasts less than the first one. Reflexes are present here everywhere in warehouses, especially because it has a white color which most often reflects. At the same time, the intensity of the reflex is different everywhere. Somewhere it's just a faded light spot, and somewhere it's a very pronounced and contrasting line. Remember about the purity of your drawing and put a separate paper under the palm of your hand while working. Now I will go to the center and work out the upper part of the main fold. Here I will deepen the shadows to emphasize the reflex. I also see a glaring light at the edge of the drapery from above. so I will also illuminate it. And then I will work through the shadows again to emphasize the saturation of the light. I will rise even higher to draw a fold along the entire length. And then I will work a little on the shadows on the additional extreme folds. Despite the fact that we seem to have to work out the entire central fold in detail, the uppermost parts should be defocused. Compositionally, it's considered incorrect to place the main focus of the work on the edge of the sheet, even if it's part of the main element. In fact, as we said earlier, it's always better to create a composite focus at the center or near it. It will not be very convenient for the viewer to view the picture in this case. If it's done intentionally and there is some special through behind it, we can do so. But in other cases, it's not necessary to violate the compositional rules. I remind you to remove the strips from the pencil. Use circular movements when working with shading. We do the same work with your fingers. At the final stage, let's look at all the sides at work from the point of view of focus. In an ideal scenario, it should be here. The left and right sides of the picture need to be softened and defocused as much as possible. So the most contrasting at the same time, the darkest and the light places are at the center. All the other elements I have are softer and non-contrasting. To switch, I advise you to slightly darken the surface of the table in order to take your eyes away from there and keep the brightest places at the center of the picture. Well, at the very end, look at all the work again and, if necessary, detail certain areas at the center. That's actually all. I hope your work came out as expressive as the photo itself.